Chess is a two-player game that starts like this. The 6 types of pieces are referred to as rooks, knights, bishops, queens, kings, and pawns. The light squares are referred to as the white squares, and the dark squares are referred to as the black squares. No more than one piece can occupy a square. By convention, white's view of the board is always employed when diagramming chess positions. These vertical groups of squares are called files. These horizontal groups of squares are called ranks. It is helpful to remember that a white square should be to each player's right. Because the queens and kings break symmetry, and that makes it more difficult to remember the starting position, it is helpful to remember that each queen begins on a square of the same color. Common mnemonics for these are white on right and queen on her color. Players take turns moving a piece, beginning with white. Each of the 6 types of pieces move differently. Here we have changed the board to a contrived game position in order to demonstrate the movement of each of these 6 pieces. This is a rook. A rook can move along a rank or a file. It cannot pass through other pieces. The destination square may not be occupied by a piece of the same color, but may be occupied by a piece of the opposite color. Then that piece is removed from the board and considered captured. All pieces can capture. This is a bishop. A bishop is similar to a rook, but moves along diagonals instead of ranks and files. This is a queen. A queen combines the abilities of a rook and a bishop. It can move along a rank, file, or diagonal. It is the most powerful type of piece. This is a knight. A knight moves 1 square along a rank and 2 squares along a file, or 1 square along a file and 2 squares along a rank, in an L shape. As long as the destination square is not occupied by another piece of the same color, the knight can move there. It does not matter if any pieces occupy other squares. This is a pawn. A pawn can move forward 1 square along a file. However, when in their starting positions, pawns can move forward 2 squares along a file. A pawn moves differently when capturing, however. A pawn can move to a diagonally adjacent square in front of it to capture a piece of the occupying color. If a pawn reaches the other side of the board, it can be replaced by another non-king piece. This is called pawn promotion. This is a king, the most important piece. A king moves 1 square along a rank, file, or diagonal. If a player's king is threatened, then that player is said to be in check, and the king itself is also said to be in check. You may not end your move in check. The object of the game is to create a position in which your opponent is in check and has no legal moves to get out of check. Then he or she is said to be in checkmate or checkmated, and the king itself is said to be in checkmate or checkmated. In our next video, we will explain more advanced topics such as en passant, castling, clocks, and stalemates.